Hello guys, I'm Dixil, and I want to show you an elevator I worked on the last couple of weeks. It's a multi-floor elevator with item frame floor selection. It has a call function, it has automatic safety doors, indicator lights, it will play a little tune on arrival, and it has this number panel on the outside here showing you which floor the elevator is currently at. So it's really simple to use. All you have to do is point the arrow at the floor you want to go to. So let's say we want to go to the 4th floor. Step inside and push the button. And we will start going up. 2nd floor, 3rd, and 4th. Door will open, little tune will play, this slide will go on, this one as well of course. And same thing if you want to go down. Let's say we want to go to the 2nd floor now. We push the button again and down we go. The door will close. Yep, here we are. Okay, so let's say you somehow happen to be on the 6th floor while the elevator is still down at the 2nd. All you have to do is push this button to call the elevator up to you. So this light here will indicate that the system's running, and yeah, that the elevator's on its way. Yep, here it is. Yeah, and the same thing of course will work the other way around. So if you're down here and the elevator's up there, you just push the call button and yeah, it will go down to you. And you can watch it from the outside here. These numbers will go on one by one, and it will arrive. Yep, lights on, doors open, perfect. Okay, so I think let's have a look at the inside now. Okay guys, so I opened it up. This is the inside of the elevator. For the tower part, the wiring is 11 by 14 I think. So it's quite compact I guess, at least for the amount of functions this elevator has. And I guess you could compact it down even more, because there's still some free spaces here and there. So yeah, the brain section down here is a little bit bigger. I think it's currently about 17 by 18 I think, but will be hidden on the ground. Okay, so for those of you who are interested, I will try and explain how the system works a little bit. I don't know how good of a job I will do in explaining, but I will try nevertheless. Okay, so we're using item frames here, and item frames put out different signal strength depending on the positioning of the item. So if this is at position 1, it will put out a signal strength of 1. If it's at 5, for example, it will put out 5, and so on. So what we have here is per floor, we have 3 signals. So the first one here indicates the current floor the player is on when he pushes a button. This signal here is used for the positioning of the elevator. And the third one behind this block is our actual input, where we select the floor we want to go to. So what happens if we push the start button, for example, these 2 pistons will extend for just a second, letting this signal and this signal through to this comparator tower, and this will carry the signals with the signal strengths all the way down to the brain section. And what happens there I will show you in just a second. Okay, so I copied the brain section over here to show you how it works, and I put 2 item frames here to indicate the 2 signals coming from up top. So what happens is we have to subtract both signals from each other. So we have to subtract this signal from this signal and this signal from this signal, and then put both of the signals together again. So let's say we are at the 4th floor here, and we want to go up to the 6th floor. So what happens is 4 will be subtracted from 6, and 6 will be subtracted from 4, giving us an output of 2, and that's what we see here. Of course, if we use this at the actual elevator, these lights will only light up for just a short amount of time, and they will activate these first 2 sets of hopper timers. And what they do is, as long as these are running, this clock here is running, and that's the clock that powers the actual elevator. You can have a look at the actual elevator, at the design and how it works. In the description I will put a link there where I found the design for this elevator. Yeah, okay, so so far the elevator only knows that it has to go 2 floors. It doesn't know if it has to go up or down. So that's what happens here. If we subtract these 2 signals from each other, one of the signals will be negative, so it won't output a signal, and the other signal will. And this RS knowledge here will switch depending on which signal is higher than the other, and will give the signal all the way through to these 2 pistons to indicate the elevator if it has to go up or down. Yeah, again, you can have a look at the video in the description to see how the elevator works. However, I altered it a little bit, so to change the direction he used torches, and I used this little pulse extenders here, but it basically works the same way. Okay, so the same thing will happen with the call button, although now you compare this signal here, which is the current floor you're on, with this signal, which is the current floor the elevator is at. So yeah, and then both signals get subtracted from each other like before, and put together and into the timer here. Important though is to switch between these 2 and these 2, so that the 2 RS knowledges don't interfere. So we have to put another RS knowledge here, and this changes state whenever we hit the call button or we hit the start button, and this will then extend or retract this piston and tell the system if it has to use this signal for up and down movement, or if it has to use this signal. So we're back at the elevator now, and I want to quickly show you how the system detects at which floor the elevator is at. So this redstone block, this is the block we're standing on. If this is sitting on the floor, it will power this dust here, which will then power this repeater, and the signal will go through to here, powering this piston, which will then let this signal through. So this is the 2nd floor, so the signal strength is 2, and this will now be used to be compared with the signal from the actual floor we're calling the elevator from. And this little circuit here, this is a pulse filter, so this will filter out short pulses, and that's needed because without that, whenever the elevator passes a floor, all the note blocks, the doors and the lights, they will go on, and we don't want it. We just want them to go on if the block is sitting here. So I can demonstrate that if I punch this out and then put it in, just a short pulse, nothing will happen, but if I let it sit here, all the things will go on as we want it. The only exception is the signal for the light in the front here, because we want that to change when the elevator moves. Okay, just a quick little note at the end of the explanation here. This is the clock that controls the speed of the elevator, and when I showed you the elevator working before, this was not set at the maximum speed, and this is due to a bug that is currently in the game, which can cause you to fall through moving blocks if you stand on top of them, especially if these blocks go up, and especially if you have a low frame rate. So if I would set this to the maximum speed like this, my frames would go down due to the pistons moving faster, and this would raise my chance of falling through the blocks. So unless you have a really powerful PC or this bug gets fixed, I would leave the setting like this. However, if you would change it to the fastest speed, you would have to change the amount of items in these hoppers here to get the timing right again. So finally I went ahead and connected the building to the elevator, just to give you an idea of how you could use it as like a standalone building connected to your main build. I used these little bridges to connect the floors. Yeah, it's just an idea. So I think that's it, guys. I hope you liked it. Bye bye.